call the meeting to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so welcome this evening. We do not have a good news report this evening. We have a lot of good things. We just don't have anything to report. Just make sure that's clear. Can I get a motion in a second to approve the minutes of the meetings held on March 27th, April 3rd, and April 8th, please?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those are approved. Nobody to address the board tonight. Perfect. Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. No conflicts of interest this evening. We will do approval of the consent agenda. 9A through H, please.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those are approved. And also a motion and a second for the supplemental consent agenda for approval of claims to Sanford Health System.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign with one abstention from myself. All right, and then we have an exciting report of the superintendent. Is Dr. Knoll just gonna waltz on in?
Yes,
He wants to make a grand entrance.
He is. I think he was
right.
big entrance there for
Right
that.
on cue.
He was planning on the good news report, which I might have forgotten to tell him we weren't having it. We had last minute issues come up with that, so we apologize, Dr. Knoll, for rushing you in, but I do think it adds to the anticipation. So I'll give you a little bit of lead time. This is exciting because this is the first school naming. Well, I've been the superintendent, so that's pretty fun. And for some of you who weren't on the board for the last naming, which would have been Jefferson, I believe, and then Ben Rifle was right at the same time. This is exciting because this is something that outlasts all of us. And when we go to choose a name for a new school, it's really a legacy that we are bringing forward. And we do that in a very intentional way with a process. And Dr. Nold will talk a little bit about that process. But ultimately, what we hope to end up with is a name that serves a school well for a long, long time and is something when students and families come to that school that they're very proud of, and a namesake that typically hangs on the wall with a photo and is something that the students begin learning about and emulating and building character as well as just the name and the namesake. So that's about all I got for a vamp. Are we just about there?
We are very close.
So we're excited to share that name. And
Don't start the drum roll yet.
I'm not going to. Then after the name happens, then the fun really begins, because then as we move forward, we'll name a new principal. The new principal will work with potential staff. They'll start the process of then having the colors and the mascot and all of the things that begin to build the identity of that school. So with that.
How many administrators does it take to?
Apparently not enough. Oh, just one with the magic touch. Okay, with that, I will happily turn it over to Dr. Nold, who has been an instrumental part in leading this process. And he and Dr. Boyson have done a great job of shepherding this to the point now where we all get to hear the big outcome, and the board will then vote to recommend this name be permanent. So I wouldn't mess with any of that if I was you.
Things are breaking.
Okay, we are all good. There we go. Okay, we will start out here. First of all, thank you. And we did put together a naming committee to be able to go through and name what we've been calling for the last several months the new Northwest Elementary School. And so this is a report of that naming committee. And the purpose of this report is to obviously provide the school board with a recommendation for naming the new Northwest Elementary School, which is set to open in the fall of 2025. And so for the first part on there, this was a school rendition that we gave to you or presented to you approximately about a year ago when we started to go through this process with the building of the new elementary school in that northwest corner. Per policy, board policy FF, we did put together a committee. The committee comprised of 28 individuals. There was 25 that were able to make it to the meeting that we had to be able to go through this process. It did consist of students, teachers, parents, community members, administrators, and board representation. And so we did go through this entire process and looked at that information. And that evening, Dr. Boyson and myself had gone through with the committee to be able to come up with one individual name that we will present to you this evening, just building on the anticipation a little bit. And so the name that we go through is Marcela Lao, Marcela Lao Elementary School. And I will give you some information and some background on Marcela Lao as we go through this evening, and then also have another individual come up and talk a little bit because we were able to communicate with the family as well. You will see here a photo of Marcela Lao, and she did pass away in 2021, was born in 1919, so you can do the math there to see that she was well over 100 years in age. So I'll go through and read a little bit of this information to you. I think this part is very important, and obviously you did not have this posted in advance of this, so this will be a new information for you. Marcela Lao was born in 1919 in Promise, South Dakota on the Cheyenne River Indian Reservation. Throughout her life, she served as an elder, politician, nurse, and military veteran. Lao earned her undergraduate nursing degree in 1942 from St. Mary's Hospital in Pierce, South Dakota. She worked as a nurse in Pontiac, Michigan, before enlisting in the United States Army Nurse Corps in 1943 to serve in World War II. Lao served in France, England, Belgium, and under the 76th General Hospital Unit, which included tending to service members during the Battle of the Bulge and Normandy D-Day landings. She was a first lieutenant when she left the Army. Lao served as a nurse for 31 years after leaving the Army, and she was a member of the Cheyenne River Tribal Council and was awarded the following honors. So I'll go through this list of honors. First of all, the French Legion of Honor for her World War II service in 2004. She was also inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame in 2006. She received the Women in History Award from the Spirit of the Prairie chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. In October 12 of 2019, that was on her 100th birthday, it was named Marcela Lao Day by the state of South Dakota. She was given a senatorial tribute by Senator John Thune, honorary degree from the South Dakota State University. She also received a leadership award from the National Congress of American Indians. She was also awarded for her work in World War II, the American Campaign Medal, the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, and the World War Victory Medal. She was also given the Medal of Honor from the Belgian government, and she also received the O'Mary Henry Chief Nurse Award, which is one of the highest nursing awards, and the Mabel Ann Wagner Award. I will at this time ask Anna Brokenleg to come up and just talk a little bit, because we did, as I said, have a little bit of a conversation with some of her children, actually the oldest child, and we were able to talk to them a little bit, just talking about this possible thing that would come forward to the school board for a recommendation. So, Anna?
Thank you so much, Dr. Knowles and School Board, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. As you can imagine, I consider it a great honor to be able to be here today. Marcela Lao was not only an Indigenous matriarch and elder, but also an inspirational figure whose legacy continues to resonate deeply within our community. It was truly a privilege to engage in conversation with her daughter, Diane, who conveyed her family's profound excitement regarding the potential honor of having an elementary school named after her mother. As we contemplate the possibility of naming a school after Marcela Lao, we envision boundless opportunities for enriching the educational experiences of our students. Marcela's remarkable journey was as an award-winning nurse and a distinguished World War II veteran embodies the values of strength, compassion, and service, values that we strive to instill in our students every day. Her strength as an individual and as a cherished member of our community certainly serves as an inspiration for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. It was truly an honor to be able to talk with her oldest daughter, to be able to talk with the family and just some of their responses. One other part here that I will, and I'll just finish this reading this part, and then there's a video that I have attached here as well. But LeBeau's life story and achievements continue to inspire people within the Native American community and beyond. She has served as a role model for young Indigenous women, demonstrating the importance of education, service, and cultural pride. Marcela LeBeau's legacy is one of courage, compassion, and resilience. Her dedication to serving others, promoting healthcare equity, and preserving Lakota culture has had a lasting impact on her community and serves as a shining example for future generations. Marcela LeBeau said, "It was the greatest honor of my life to serve." And if you watch the video that's attached there, and it really has to do with an interview from a veteran's perspective, but they go through and talk and interview her over the age of, she was over 100 years old at that point in time. And her clarity of just talking through the service that she had provided. And I will tell you that she was truly a leader, but when you listen to that interview, you can see her servitude and how she truly had a servant's heart. And everything she talked about was just being able to have that honor of serving her country. And even coming back to be able to serve her state and people that she represented. So we do bring, so you will be able to click on that to be able to watch that video. If not, you can follow the link and be able to go in and see it there. It's 2 parts. I would encourage you to listen all the way through to the end as well, just as you hear her in the last parts of it. But that's where she does say it is her greatest honor to serve. Our administrative recommendation is to approve the naming committee's recommendations per policy FF, naming school facilities. And I'd stand by to be able to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Okay, I'm gonna try to get through this. I wasn't a part of the committee, so this is me hearing it for the first time. To everybody that was a part of this, thank you for putting this forward and what this is going to mean to so many people. My first educator, Native American educator that I had wasn't until college. And she was a social worker. And the only reason why I chose social work was because I looked up to her and respected her so much. Because she looked like me. She looked like my aunt. And to know that there's going to be kids able to go into their school to see somebody that looks like them, that's positive, means so much. So thank you to everybody in the consideration of this and what this means to generations to come. Thank you to Anna for all your hard work and uplifting all of our Native kids every day. Your team is phenomenal. You save lives. So thank you again, and I would push for everyone to consider this to go forward.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments? I always love to hear the background of the people because we know that that is such an integral part of our school communities. And so when I think about young elementary kids learning about the life that she led, the example that she led, her characteristics that are really admirable and what everybody should strive for, I just think what a great culture that starts out that school with. And so I just love listening to the stories, and I can't wait to watch the video. And I hope that other people, if you're not familiar with the person, or even if you are, I hope you go out and watch the video and learn about who we are honoring with our next elementary school. So thank you again to the committee as well.
I will add in as well, and I think Dr. Boyson would say the same, just the process of going through and listening to the stories. There are so many incredible people that are brought forward. No question about it. We wish we had 50 more schools to be able to name people after. And but just to be able to hear the stories, and we continually heard the story of Marcela LeBeau, it was just incredible, as was with so many others, but just a great process to go through and a very honoring process.
Awesome. Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the naming committee's recommendation per policy FF?
So
naming
moved.
school?
Second.
Thanks. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 I think Mark has more to beat him.
We had a group aye. All right, that is approved. So that is exciting. Our new elementary school has been named. Thank you, Dr. Knowles.
Thank you.
And a peek.
After that, attached, you will find the results of the election held on Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, in conjunction with the city of Sioux Falls. Because optical scanning equipment was used by the city to read the ballots, there's no need for reading the unofficial totals by polling place. If the board chooses to waive the reading and accept the results, the following action should be taken. Waive the reading of totals by precinct and acknowledge the canvass of the results of the school board race for the Sioux Falls School District annual election held on April 9th, 2024 for two-year terms for office of member of the school board. With the results as follows: Mark Murrin, 4,993 votes. Gail Swenson, 4,920. Bobby Tibbetts, 3,768. Pat Starr, 2,469. And Stuart Willett, 2,054. And declaring Mark Murrin and Gail Swenson as duly elected members of the school board for terms of 2 years, commencing with the annual meeting to be held on July 8th, 2024. So if somebody didn't make that motion, that would
I
be great.
move to waive the reading of totals by precinct and acknowledge the canvass of the results of the school board race.
I have a motion and a second. Any other conversation? I'd like to welcome Gail. We're excited to have you, and congratulations, Mark. We're excited to keep you.
You can be honest.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That is approved, acknowledged.
And thank you. And I have certificates of election for Gail and Mark, and I'll hand those out.
I think we should give them a hand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Mark,
Anything else?
Anytime we hear a former student of yours or athlete come forward to say, Mr. Murin, you have made an impact in our life and thank you. We know we're in good hands of you as our board member and we're appreciative of you running for re-election. And Gail, we look forward to honing in on your skills and expertise, long time serving in the public school. So thank you for your time, both of you.
Thank you.
Anything else to come before the board this evening?
I would just add, there are many, many events coming up, and including graduation next month. And so just make sure that you have talked with Andrea so that everybody is lined up if you want to be presenter at a graduation. And hang on for the ride as we approach May.
Yes. It's a fun and busy time. All right. Can I get a motion and a second for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We are adjourned.